When's our heart out?
7:30.
7:30. Okay. We're on the clock. Levels. Did you see we aren't going to be part of a Guinness Book of World Record attempts?
Are we canceling running RAGBRAI?
What? A, stop it. Now you're just being antagonistic. B, running RAGBRAI? Nobody runs RAGBRAI. Sheri. And three, they aren't going for the record.
All right. So I wasn't. Okay. Yes. I mean, I was. Okay. Yes. Admittedly, but however, the thing about the record, that's great news.
Why is this great news? Well,
I mean, without 100,000 riders from Ames to Des Moines, that day is going to be so much easier to ride.
Oh no. No. They're still going to have 100,000 riders. And I have read online that stop and go traffic is expected the entire day. They're going to do it. They're just not going to try to qualify for the record.
Okay, so wait. Everyone is going to do all of the work, but we just won't have anything to show for it at the end.
Yep, that's pretty much. Yep, you seem to have the situation pretty much pegged there, Jake.
Yeah, that pretty much sounds like my first master's degree.
Your first one? I didn't know you had 2 master's degrees.
I don't.
Oh dear. Hi, toddlers. Welcome to Talking to Todd, a weekly podcast with Dwayne Johnson and Todd Friends, where failure is always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Nice job on the cold open there. That was...
Oh, thank you. It was years in the making.
You weren't thinking when you were working on your first master's that, oh, yeah, eventually this would be a good cold open for a podcast.
If I just hold on to this nugget for about 39 years, this is going to be hilarious.
On my critically reviewed podcast.
29 years. Sorry, 29 years. Yes. Did I say 39? 39. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. Yes, on my critically acclaimed podcast.
No. Critically reviewed. Alexis.
I mean, admittedly, according to Apple Podcasts, we are a podcast. So that's not nothing.
It's not nothing. That's true. It is not nothing. I mean, but we've far surpassed 5,000 total downloads.
So there you go.
You can't say that about a lot of podcasts.
No, I mean, on the popular ones, that's, usually the first 2 minutes of downloads, but whatever. You know what? We're not there. That's something else.
I don't try to compete.
Yeah. That's their thing. By the way, from the cold open though, I will say, did you see why they're not, why RAGBRAI is not going for a world record? Did you read
people have to go through a chute and they have to be counted.
Oh, it's even monitored. Before that. It's even before that. They were going for the largest bike parade. However, Guinness told them that was retired and it was no longer an active category. So if they wanted to, an active category is the most participants in a bike race.
Oh, no.
And they said, oh, that's a terrible idea. No. We can't have that.
No, this is a ride.
Yeah.
And has been for 50 years. It's a ride, not a race.
Yeah, we can't.
There's no yellow jerseys at the end. There's no podium.
Yeah.
It's not a time trial.
Yeah.
Let's go to feedback, follow-up, and updates, because we have a guest joining us this week who I think has feedback, follow-up, and updates. Welcome our guest of the week, Sheri Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, I already used that.
It's great. It's like my last name. It doubles for so many things.
You are the inspiration, well, you and Greg, for high toddlers. Because you are the high toddlers.
Toddlers.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm more of a toddler than he is, but
Yeah.
And I just want to make it clear that Lisa remains the best part of the podcast, no matter what happens tonight.
Well, you can remind Greg of that again on July 12th, that you are more of a toddler than he is, right?
He knows I eat children's food when he shops. I have him pick up Uncrustables, applesauce pouches, Kids Z bars, Pop-Tart bites.
Oh, I'm starting to get hungry. Hold on a second. I gotta get a snack.
You got to bike at least 25 miles for that.
For a second, I thought you were listing things you have dropped. I'll take things Sheri has dropped in a porta potty for 200, Alex.
None of those things. I've changed my nutrition strategy.
Okay. So, but you came to Des Moines and did the half Iron They?
Yeah, or the iron aluminum, whatever you want to call it.
Man. Yes, you did it. Yes, you did an aluminum man.
I ran in a triathlon. I participated. I completed.
Yay!
A half Ironman. It was great. Loved Des Moines, loved the venue, loved the race setup. It really, it exceeded all my expectations. It was really fun.
How was the lake?
It was a little murky, but nice and calm. They made you swim in an S pattern. So you swam out, you swam along the bridge, you came back towards your start, you went back out towards the other end of the lake, you came back. Because apparently last year they made you get out and run across a little peninsula, and people didn't like that.
So that was a swim, run, swim, bike, run.
Yeah, something like that. So
Also, I believe Des Moines, overall, just in general, Des Moines' new Chamber of Commerce slogan is Des Moines, a little murky but pretty calm. So I think they're on brand.
Show title.
But yeah, it was. I mean, great race. If anyone's considering doing a 70.3, like you two, if you're ever considering, Des Moines is a great venue. Their branding for the race was Urban Charm, but I think yours was a close second.
And I have to say, I mean, I can see why Des Moines, of all places, would go with Urban Charm, because when people say something's urban, the first thing you think of is Des Moines. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Hey, some of us still have to live here.
Yes. Yeah.
How many cornfields did you bike past?
There were no cornfields. It was all Facebook data centers. That was all they just went past.
No, you absolutely did that.
They had to let all the out-of-towners know that they were in an urban space.
Yes.
And it was charming.
When you were doing that biking, you actually got close to our house.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, next time I do it, which I would do it again, you'll have to be in town.
We will do our best to be in town. We were in New Orleans actually while Sheri was here. Iron Theying.
Participating.
So yes, participating. Thank you. So we weren't around. I've got New Orleans stories later in the show, but it looks like from the photos that I got, you looked like you were having a great time.
I did. I dropped no nutrition in a porta potty.
Count that as a win.
Yay!
Do you get bonus points for that? Like at the end, do they deduct like a couple of minutes? Like if you didn't have a porta potty incident, you get like 2 minutes credit to your time.
But I did have a porta potty incident.
Oh.
Wasn't really my porta potty incident, and I'm really curious as to your guys' take on this. So, 56-mile bike took me like 3 hours and 10 minutes, right? So I drank a lot of liquid nutrition, which I never dumped in the porta potty this time, so it worked really well. Was going pretty fast for me. I was really happy, but I had to pee. And, some people pee on their bikes, which I'm not. Sorry. Not doing it, no. So I kept looking at the porta potties on the side of the road,
Mhm.
and there were lines. And I'm like, I'm not stopping. I'm just going to keep going until I see an empty porta potty, or, I'll get to transition and I'll pee there. So I pull my bike into transition, and I'm like, we run a little bit because the space was far, right? So I'm running with my bike, and I'm uncomfortable. I have to go. So the first porta potty I come to has the green, door open, right? Like nobody's in there, or so you'd think. So I I throw open the door, and this guy screams, "Oh my God, no!" And he's sitting on the porta john on his phone. And I'm like, this is weird because whatever. And he stands up, and now I'm like got the full Monty, and he goes, "Oh my God!" And he throws his phone out the porta john, and I slam the door. And I look down, and he has his email up, and I'm like, okay, we're in a race. Like clearly you're a participant, because the only people allowed in transition are the athletes. And I'm like, who checks their email during a race, right? And I'm looking at his phone, which is like kind of outside the porta john, and I'm like, your phone's out here. And I ran to the next porta john. So yeah, I saw some strange athlete's penis, and he threw his phone at me. That's my only porta john story. Urban charm.
Des Moines.
His name is actually Urban
Charm. That's what they were referring to. That's actually his nickname.
Well, there you
they
go.
Knew all about him, and that it wasn't a slogan, it was a warning. Watch out for Urban Charm. What an interesting reaction, though, of yelling, "Oh my God," standing up, and then the part of like throwing the phone, like, well, now I'm in the porta potty and my phone's out there, and I can't get to the end of the email that I'm reading in the middle of the competition.
You should have. Greg texted us a picture about a penalty tent.
Yes.
Should have put him in the penalty tent.
He thought I might get there for embellishment, I think it was, right? He told me not to embellish anything on my ride and to stand by the penalty tent. So we did that.
Excellent.
Nice. And you looked really happy doing it. Based on the results, you should have been.
I was very happy. I had knocked an hour and 45 minutes off my time from that horrible race in Madison. So I was really pleased. Can't wait to ride with you guys on RAGBRAI, or at least, say hi. I'm not bringing my fast bike, so you'll have that.
And we appreciate that.
Oh, fortunately, neither are we.
But Todd, at least you clip in, right? You're a big boy.
Well, I mean, I have. The 0 mile an hour crash is now making me rethink my pedal strategy.
That was painful to hear.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was just as painful to experience. So
that takes talent, for sure.
It really does. Most people can't pull that off.
So the other interesting thing that happened to me in transition, which made me really cranky, is I had my toddler food, right? So I wanted to eat something after the bike that was solid and not liquid, so my stomach wouldn't be going nuts on the run, right?
And
so I had toddler food. I had an applesauce go-go squeeze, and I had a kid's Z-Bar, my go-tos. Somebody ate them.
Well, that's just rude.
And left the garbage next to my running shoes. Yeah. And then my dear husband said, maybe you ate them and just forgot.
Way to be supportive,
I said,
Greg.
no, that's not what happened. I knew what I had, and no.
That was my thought, was as soon as he starts blaming you, that makes me think he's like, man, this bike ride's taking a while. That looks pretty. I'll just have a bite. She won't even notice. I'll have and then eventually he's just got like empty wrappers, and he's like, I don't Maybe you forgot.
My brother and sister-in-law come out on the run course to support me, which is, they're probably there 5 hours into my 6-hour race. And I'm running, and I'd never seen them, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden I hear, Sheri, hi! And I knew it was Beth's voice. And she's like, surrounded by all these children. And she goes, you're effing killing it! I just put my head down and thought, who's that Sheri Hey person?
I don't know who she's talking to.
But there's some drunk biker woman.
I'm just imagining for like the next week, all these kids are like, hey, Mom, you're effing killing it with the cleaning.
Yeah, you're right. What's that mean?
Well, we also got a suggestion that we need to update your toddler number.
That's Greg's suggestion. He thinks it should be the number of the best race I've done.
Well, that would make you toddler 360.
It would.
I
don't know about that. What do you guys think? I kind of like 3187.
We'll we take nominations. You can do what you'd like to do, but I think that 3187 is a reminder of how far you've come in your toddler journey.
There you go. When I think of 3187, I think of standing half naked in a porta potty in Rona, looking at my nutrition in a pile of shit, thinking, oh, I shouldn't have said that right. In a pile of crap, thinking, is there any way I can get that?
I mean, it's in a wrapper, right?
Can I reach my hand down there? Would it be okay? Right.
You know what? I'm going to email my doctor to see if it's okay if I get in there to pick it out of it.
Was this the same race where the porta potty had no toilet paper?
No, that was the Chicago Marathon.
Okay.
And then because, Todd, you know that story, that had no toilet paper. So I put hand sanitizer on my rear. When you're sweaty and maybe a little chafed. Yeah, that was miserable.
That's motivation.
It was motivation.
You got to pick up the pace to go deal with that.
I also got smart from my racing, and I've now learned to take Imodium 2 days prior to the race. So nothing happens.
Who knew that Imodium was performance enhancing drugs?
Right?
Right. They're
actually, in a way, it's performance reducing drugs in a certain system. So it's fine. It's clear. Yes.
Which enhances performance.
Right. Yeah.
But you got to get the balance right, or your Mondays are really bad. Maybe your Tuesdays. You really screw it up. You're going into Thursday or Friday. And you might find yourself in a porta potty calling your doctor.
Anyway, congratulations, Sheri.
Thank you.
On a great race, on a 16th place finish.
For my age group, yes. Not overall.
You don't have to, don't provide additional information. Just roll with that.
I beat the weatherman. Jason Sedenko, the weatherman, was doing the half Ironman. I beat him.
He's younger than we are. He's a lot younger than we are.
Yeah, I expected better. What's up with Jason?
So that's interesting because the first and only triathlon I competed in high school, I was soundly beaten by a KCCI weather woman who I was like, who was older than I was. And I was actually like, wow, she's faster than me. Hey, I know her. She's gone. Everybody's passing me. Yeah. A quick question. So what's the next race event that you are participating / competing in?
That's not RAGBRAI.
Yes, because that's a ride, not a race. So yes.
Correct. I may throw another half Ironman in the mid-August, maybe. We're gonna see. But I am doing a full Ironman, which is ridiculous, in Madison, assuming I survive.
Okay, so that's at least 2 trips to the porta potty then in Madison. Because if so, be careful.
Yeah, lots of opportunity. Lots of opportunity.
So Toddler -18 actually sent us a couple of suggestions for races that you could participate in.
Ooh.
And these are real races. You can let me know if you've heard of any of them. The Lake Superior Trail 100. It's a 100-mile race on hiking trails.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
Also the Leadville Trail 100. Most of that race is above 10,000 feet.
Maybe Todd could do that because don't you live somewhere?
Yeah, you train at elevation, don't you?
Well, I'm not really, but sure, we'll say it. Kind of.
Yeah.
But
I
not.
eat pie at elevation. I eat a cinnamon roll at elevation. I'm all over that.
I hear elevation is great. Their pie is great. And they've been in business for what, 15 years? No, is that not right? No, I just figured that was a pie store. Elevation.
Sarah's cousin completed the Lake Superior one. It was 39 hours of running.
That's
Yes.
amazing. She's twice the athlete I'll ever be.
Which makes her 10 times the athlete we'll ever be.
When Greg and I were driving home from Des Moines on Sunday night after the race, he looked at me at one point and said, in Madison, you're still going to be out there. I decided I hated him a little bit at that moment.
Oh, wish you the best of luck. Come back again and let us know how it goes. We'll be following.
Yes.
Sounds great. Thanks, Sheri.
All right. Bye, guys.
That was fun. That was great. Little drop in there by Sheri. So we got Sheri's follow-up. Other follow-up?
Just other follow-up. Yes. By the way, the Supreme Court issued their ruling on bad spaniel.
Yes, saw that.
Yeah. And
did not go well for bad spaniel.
No, but the bad spaniel dog toy is one of the only things the entire Supreme Court can agree on. They voted 9-0 that crap wasn't covered by the First Amendment and sent it back. So for a court that can't agree on anything, they all went, yeah, we're not doing that. So way to go.
I also saw when we were traveling another chew toy that was Maker's Bark.
Yeah. That's not
I don't think that one's going to fly either.
Yeah.
Anywho.
We
also covered the mess that is the Golden Globes, and the Golden Globes have now been sold to Dick Clark Productions and the owner of the Dodgers for reasons I don't anyway, which also will wind down the operations of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
As if anyone could tell.
This organization's getting pretty problematic. How are we going to get out of it? Why don't you just go away? Okay. So supposedly they're going to form some sort of charitable trust because it's really all about the charity. And a for-profit hedge fund just bought it to take the Golden Globes, a premier event since 1944 worldwide. So anyway, I'm sure NBC is thrilled they've got new business I don't know. Anyway, there you go.
Hot damn updates. We kind of covered it a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. So you've got something listed here.
I was talking to one of my colleagues at work today, actually, and they just got e-bikes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That will go just with the press of a button with no pedaling whatsoever, will go for 25 miles. And it'll go for 40 if you're willing to pedal a bit.
Okay.
I think this sounds like a fantastic idea, especially on the long day.
So what you're thinking is we each need to buy 2 e-bikes.
Thanks, Eli.
Station one of them, because it's an 83-mile day.
Yes.
Station one of them at the halfway point. Do this. This used to be the way Formula E did their races, because each car couldn't have a big enough battery to complete the entire race. So you would come in halfway through the race and jump into a completely separate race car and then roll out. And then we walked the last 3 miles.
Yeah, so I think we send the we send the girls ahead in the truck to meet us, because then you can, and so then you just swap out bike for bike, and then
Yeah.
boom, off we
And
go.
eat pie. And
Yes.
eat
Oh,
pie during the transition.
yes, absolutely. Hopefully they park close enough where I don't have to run to a porta potty during the
Yes.
transition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if I do,
Uh,
I either find that it's unoccupied, or more than likely, I'll be cousin Andy. Hey, Mr. Kaibo man.
can you unload that off the truck for a minute? I've got two pieces of follow up for this thing. Number one, my road bike is, a portion of my road bike is now back in the shop after I did my last training ride, and then I came back and I thought, this wheel, like, it's really, my back wheel is. Turns out it was rubbing for the entire 30 miles. Coming and going, it was sort of not constant, but anyway, it wasn't round anymore. So that's now into be trued, and Lisa's like, how do you think that happened? I'm like, well, I did. I took the tire off, took the tube off, did some other stuff. And I'm like, I have no idea. I mean, what would have hit? Oh, when I hit the ground. Anyway. So, yeah. And you talked about how your friends said they sat on a 2x4
Yes.
For training last year. And the thought that went through my head was, because it's not the miles, it's the hours. What went through my head was, because you've talked about you probably need to get your seat time going forward, because here's the worry on an 80-mile day. You spend the first 40 miles worrying that your butt is going to go numb, and you spend the second 40 miles worrying that it isn't going to go numb. We just need the sweet release of this thing going numb at this point.
And then after 80 miles and it's numb, then you spend the whole rest of the night praying that the feeling will return.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah.
Please, oh please, let me feel my butt again. Is it time for America's favorite game?
It is.
That's right. That sound means it's time for America's favorite game. Dwayne, guess a number. Okay, hit me.
Okay, so I'm starting to. You were getting too close on some of these, so now I'm just going to start going far afield here. All right, this is sports related. So I'm at least putting it in the category that you have a shot at, but not really. So, the San Francisco 49ers, an NFL club, you know something about the NFL, are partial owners of English Premier League team Leeds United. I believe they owned about 40% or so. At the end of this season, they had an option to buy the 60% of the club that they didn't own at the conclusion of the season. Also, interestingly enough, at the conclusion of the season, Leeds United was relegated from the Premier League.
Oop.
And is now playing in the championship. Once again, watch Ted Lasso. Wait, so you moved down to the championship. Anyway, whatever. So
their fans can pee wherever they want, but they'll be peeing in the championship.
Yes. At smaller stadiums.
Yes, so that's good.
Yeah, they can't pee wherever they want. They can only pee in the championship. They can't pee in the Premier League even if they want. Yes. So, this reduced the price that the San Francisco 49ers had to pay for the club because they are no longer in the top tier. Dwayne, how much of a discount in dollars did the 49ers get on the purchase price of the approximately 60% of the club they didn't own, simply because Leeds at the end on the last day of the season got relegated. How much money did it save the 49ers?
Will you tell me what the original estimated payment would have been before the discount?
The entire value of the club
Okay.
could have, if they would have stayed up, the entire value of the club could have been $625 million.
Okay. And they already
Actually, yes. So this is how much did the total valuation of the club, not the 49ers piece, the total valuation of the club drop? It could have been $625 million, but then they got relegated.
So
Yes.
the club is now worth,
Yes.
I don't know, let's use round numbers. 500 million?
Oh, that's a drop. You're saying a drop of about $125 million.
Yes.
No. The previous owner accepted a deal that values the club at $209 million. The club lost more than $400 million, or 2/3 of its value.
Oh my word.
Because it got relegated on the last day of the season.
So if you're the Niners, how do you not scoop up the rest of that?
They did.
Okay.
Yes,
they took the option and the deep discount. Did they even have to pay anything, since how much they had paid before probably exceeded the value of the club now? Or did they just sign it over?
I think the 49ers may have had to include a couple of upper deck tickets to the Niners versus the Buccaneers without Brady, and then they called it good.
Okay.
So there you go. Oh, it's just a game. Yeah, the fact that you lost that game and some stuff didn't fall the way it needed to fall just cost you $400 million. Congrats.
Oof. But if you're the Niners, you got to be happy about that. Because
at this point, the only way to go is up. Wait, you can get relegated out of the championship? You can go to the third tier of English football? What's that called?
Tier 1.
You're kidding me.
League
One is the third tier? You're just messing with me now, aren't you?
Oh, okay. Let's see. So no bell there. Oh, Lord, I came unprepared. How about idiots?
Okay. This one happens to be a sport idiot as well. And what did I have this listed as?
It can always get worse.
Yes. Never underestimate the power of stupid people to make things worse. This falls under this category. So in France, the Tour Féminin International des Pyrénées, the women's tour of the Pyrenees, was a 3-stage bike race with 23 competing teams. At the conclusion of the second of the 3 stages, 17 of the 23 teams voted to abandon the race and not move on, to not hold the third day. Why would they want to do that? Because the race organizers didn't close the roads during the race. So think about very small, tight French roads. There is video of the peloton coming down this road while a full-size tour bus is going the other direction. There's also video of the peloton coming up and having to go around a car that is going in their direction. They didn't shut the roads down for this race. They were just racing on open roads. And there were a number of near misses, including where cars drove into the peloton and the bike riders had to get out of the way. So the teams got together and said, yeah, we're done. The race director, who's responsible for this, and this is where things get worse, that is bad enough that they didn't shut the roads. And they didn't have to shut the roads all day. In a lot of races, what you do is you close it for an hour or 30 minutes. You do sort of rolling closures, right? Yeah. Just let the riders go through and then we open them back up again. when confronted with, hey, the riders don't want to go on this ride anymore that you organized because you didn't make a safe ride, he said, hold my Perrier. Here was his response. The girls have demands that are not in line with their level. They imagine that they are on the Tour de France and that all roads must be closed, that everything must be locked down. But in France, we can't do that. Quite honestly, I tell myself it's not worth organizing a race to see all these months of effort ruined for the whims of spoiled children.
Oof.
Anyway, way to go. It took him months to organize a 3-stage race where he didn't close down any of the roads. I'm not exactly sure what the hell he did for those
What
months.
has he been doing?
I mean, that's kind of your job. Like, close the
Take
road.
the money and run. That's mostly what he's been doing.
Yeah. So anyway, way to go, Pascal. And I'm assuming there's part of me that says I'm assuming he won't be organizing any more races, but who knows? In France, he may be promoted. I'm not clear. How about you?
It's looking at the time. I will keep mine short. Did you see that an eating disorder support group has had a helpline, a phone line, dial-in line for quite a number of years? A chat line where you can call in if you need support because you have an eating disorder. Well, in the last year, they disbanded and laid off all of the workers that were providing the helpline, that were staffing the helpline, and they replaced them with an AI tool.
Uh-oh.
The AI tool was taken offline last week after it began offering weight loss advice to people with eating disorders.
The problem is, here's what I'm going to say. The idiot here. So the person who decided that all of the people who were actually answering the phone calls and giving advice and giving support to the people, that they're the ones that need to be laid off to be replaced by AI. The right decision was keep those people and replace the person that made that decision with the AI.
Yeah, so they're not exactly sure what they're going to do next, but it's not. And there were supposed to be controls to keep this from happening.
Oh yeah, no. You watch all the science fiction. Don't worry, we've programmed the robots. You watch Jurassic Park. Don't worry, there's controls with the genetically engineered dinosaur. There's always controls. Don't worry about it.
What are you doing, Dave?
Everything will be fine.
This is highly irregular, Dave. Oh, yeah. So there was that. Let's see. I was in New Orleans last week.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Should we do some visual gags?
Sure. People love it. They keep asking for more.
Let's see. I couldn't wait before, because I already sent you this one, that the meeting that was going on in the hotel that I was staying at.
Yes.
Who was hosting that meeting?
In New Orleans.
Yes.
I believe it was being hosted by Silicon Valley Bank.
It was, yes. It was their next gen professional development summit.
Okay, look. We can't count on this generation of leaders to run this bank into the ground and need federal bailing out. We have to train the next round of leaders to show them how to run the bank into the ground and get federal support.
Yep. Let's see. The sign was in the mall.
Please do not hit this wall.
To their credit, there were no holes in the wall. The sign seems to be doing its job. The wall also looked about 36 hours old.
My thought is I'm surprised, however, that the sign doesn't have like a punch mark in it. Didn't hit the wall, hit the sign.
And then we've been talking about the designations of safety information on planes.
Yes.
There was this on my ride home.
This is a B737-900 ER.
Yes, in case there's an injury, this plane can apparently take you directly to the ER.
That is an upgrade. You do have to spend money for it.
Yep. So there was that.
Or that just means there's 900 ERs on board. No, never mind. Sorry.
No. We had a really good time. We had dinner at the Bourbon House. We toured the Sazerac House. There was a lot of drinking and housing going on.
Yep, that's New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. I would recommend. Have you been to New Orleans much?
I've never been.
You can ride the trolley for $3 a day for a 24-hour pass.
Really?
So Amy and I, and it's all on an app. And so and where it's going to be and when it's going to be where and whatever. So you just walk out to the street, hop on the trolley, show him that you purchased the pass in the last 24 hours, and you can ride the streetcar trolley up and down. We rode it all the way out through the Garden District and then jumped out, had a drink, walked back to the trolley when it was time to come back, rode the trolley all the way back down, looked at the other side of the Garden District. Rode it back and forth through the French Quarter. A great way to get around downtown New Orleans for very little money. Highly recommend. Very entertaining.
Imagine that. Trains, sort of, are awesome.
It's kind of what we do around here. You watch anything good?
Well, so we made it through episode 2 of The Night Agent, which is, if listeners will remember, Lisa asked Dwayne to ask me to watch it. And so Lisa and I watched it. We watched one episode, waited like a week and a half for their travel, watched the second one. And at the end of it, didn't say anything, whatever. And then I said, and she goes, "Oh, I'm so glad you said that because that was boring and I'm glad we don't want to watch the rest of it." And I said, starting to get into this.
So when is she going out of town again so that you can finish?
Tuesday. So go. Yeah. So apparently we watched the same show and came to different conclusions. Actually, we both agree this is moving pretty slow. For me, it's moving slow, which is building something. For her, it's moving slow, and that means it's slow enough that you can exit the vehicle without getting injured because it's just anyway. Yeah. How about you? What are you guys watching?
We started watching a sitcom called Ghosts. Have you seen this?
Okay, so you're watching the one on CBS or the original one from, I believe, England?
Yes. I mean, they've kind of done The Office to this.
Yeah.
This is the Americanized version. This couple moves into a mansion. It's haunted. She can see the ghosts. He cannot. Hilarity ensues.
Because the ghosts are pretty funny as well. I mean, there's quite a few of them, right? Yes.
Yeah, there are quite a few of them. One of them is a Boy Scout leader who got shot through the neck with an arrow.
And he would have been fine
if he hadn't pulled it out. Da.
Thanks, Langy.
Told that story just so we could do that joke. Yes, and so Ghosts. If you're into that kind of thing, this might be for you. What where are we at? Oh boy, we need to wrap up. What'd you learn?
So this morning I woke up to shockingly the English Premier League released their fixtures, the schedule for next season. Just came out today. Two things I learned. Number one, while the season just wrapped up, first game starts on August 11th. So not a lot of time for them to recover. Second one, when the NFL does a schedule release, first of all, there's 6 weeks of, I don't know which day it will be on. It could be on this day, but we would know by this because there's smoke signals that are sent, and I don't know. And then when they release the schedule, there is a 3 to 17 hour special while they reveal individual games and have everybody. Now that's for 17 games. Now this is only 20 teams, but they play 38 games. And you know what they did? They emailed a PDF and said, here's the schedule.
I didn't know you could do that.
Apparently, you can release sports schedules as a PDF. So, good on them. Good on them. I think somebody needs to tell Roger Goodell, you know, we don't need to do all of the pump, and it's basically those are calendar events. So just publish it. Anyway, what did you learn this week?
It's the way they used to do it. I've talked about the corporate machine that manages my travel.
Yes.
One of the benefits of the corporate machine,
yes,
is that it does a really good job negotiating. Because on this New Orleans trip, I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton.
Ooh, fancy.
For $139 a night.
That's less than some resort fees in Vegas per night.
Right? Which is why Amy came down and joined me for the last 3 nights of it. Had a really good time. If you can, what's Ferris Bueller say? If you can afford it, I highly recommend. The discount, the corporate discount that we get at the Ritz-Carlton in New Orleans, I learned it's fantastic. The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. You can subscribe to our award-winning podcast with visiting scholar Todd Friends wherever you get your pods. Just search Talkin' and the number 2, no G, no space. You can check out our award-winning merch on Zazzle. You can stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office. Please don't do that. Thanks to our listeners and our sponsors, Toddler3187, keeping that number, the Taylor Center for Technology Policy, and DJ to Go Cedar Valley. You can send us your feedback to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd?
Just to clear up something I said a little earlier, is a tram a train? It's a question that makes train enthusiasts the world over gasp in horror. Is a tram or a trolley considered a train? Well, to the uninitiated, it may seem like practically the same thing. After all, they're both modes of transportation that run on the tracks. Those in the know will tell you there are a number of key differences. Basically, we need to edit the part out where I said that you were on a trolley and I said it was a train, because otherwise I will lose my train enthusiast card. And I need that because we're going back to England and Europe. So I got to ride some trains, not trolleys. I will ride trolleys, but those are different than trains. Just so we're clear. It was all satire. It was all funny. Please don't take that to the Supreme Court because they don't get satire. Anyway.
That train enthusiasts are more rabid than Taylor Swift fans. Do not piss them off.
All 6 of them.
Otherwise, there'll be stuff to clean up next week. But we'll be here. We'll do it. We're talking to Todd.
The one problem we have with having all of our guests on that bring really, really good content, like Lisa and Sheri, because I think we need more of that, is we need Lisa to have more horror travel stories, and Sheri has to compete in more events more often so we can generate more content. Who wants to ask whom?
We appreciate their sacrifice for our entertainment.